There's some things I have to say.
Good.
Scott Gross.
Scott Gross, is that his name?
Scott is out in L.A.
I work fast and I'm a deal. I write and direct.
Yeah, that guy's great.
But none of them understand that, like, Cleveland is a bombed out third world hellhole.
I go on and on.
Well, that was tremendous fun.
The cat hair apocalypse. Baby, it's like Mad Max, but with cats. Like
Cat
Apocalypse.
For being on some chill shit. Oh Lord, got a whole lot to show for it. I mean, we can really get it, we can go for it. Oh Lord, got a whole lot to show for it. I mean, we can really get it, we can go for it. Oh Lord.
Hypocrisy and nonsense.
It's a combination of stupidity, incompetence, preening, posturing, and fraud.
Hello, friends. I'm back in the saddle for another night of That Drawing Show, and feeling good tonight. Had a strong show yesterday, and I think we're going to continue where we left off. I'm trying to get back to drawing after being off for about 2 months because of an injury, so we're going back to basics and doing some hand tutorials and some head tutorials and really doing some drawing fundamentals. So let's put some music on and let's get to it, huh? Okay, so I'm over here and the desktop audio is playing and hopefully it's not too loud. Does that make sense? All right, that's what we want to achieve, right? And yesterday we started with these hand tutorials and they turned out really good. And it was only like the first show, so I didn't really get that much into it, but I thought let's try to do a few more and warm up, and then I have some more head stuff, and you know, we can get moving, because this gig is coming up and frankly I'm not ready for it. The whole idea behind this show is that I need to practice more. And if you can make a broadcast out of it and make some content, as they say, then good. But either way, I'm finding it harder and harder to to do the practicing. And that's maybe a problem in its own right, but for right now, I'm trying to fix it by making the practicing pay off a little bit. See, the reality is that a lot of times practice does not pay off because you stink. This is an example of that. Let's talk about why this did not work here. You know, when you're drawing alla prima like this, overlap is incredibly important. And in this case, I am not capturing these planes well at all. Anatomy, of course, is important. Yesterday we were talking about this shape here. And how important that is on that hand. But besides that, I did not capture that anatomy whatsoever. Everybody's hand is going to be a little bit different in this area. But the idea is that you have to capture the idea that there's this. All right, I'm already off on the proportions. You know what I mean? This is maybe one where it's better to actually start with a silhouette. You know, one of the reasons why I never made a show before was because a lot of times I don't have anything to talk about. What is going through my head? I'm trying to think about this anatomy. I mean, frankly, this is not the greatest hand drawing of all. I'm drawing a copy of a drawing, so I'm inheriting all his mistakes. But you can see what works and what doesn't work. And also, you want to try to have fun with it. You want to say, all right, how would this look like in a caricature environment? Because that's where I'm going to be in a week. How can I express this in less strokes, frankly? The same idea. You know what I mean? Because I'm no good at copying this guy's actual drawing here. I think I demonstrated that. But we have to really kind of shortcut over here to what is going to work a week from now. You know, I can say that we have a bigger idea in mind. I'm going to get to that later. For what we're going to try to achieve, not just at this show, but frankly, all year and from now on. And that's drawings that are a little bit more like this, where I'm doing full bodies, and they're fun, and they can be cute and they can be sexy, but they're not such pure portraiture that I have to deal with people's insecurities. I can do enough with the body to get around their insecurities. It's a sales job, but it's a little bit more interesting. Anyway, in order to make it work, you know what? You're going to have a nice approach with gestural hands. You're going to have a nice... you're going to be able to make a peace sign in as few strokes as possible. Do you know what I mean? How many Asian girls are going to want to go like this? And you have to make it convincing, you know? You know what I mean? I don't even think that looks that good. I'm just using it as an example. You know, a real approach is to kind of get your look down to as few strokes as you can. At least the way I want to draw. Problem is here. See, now that looks pretty good. If we could start drawing like this, I think we will get to where we need to be. You know what I mean? I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Let's go to a break real quick. I'll be back in 1 sec. what can I say? I may have to bring that over here. That was so good. In fact, I'll be back in a second. I got to bring that over here. Hold on. One of the important things that I'm trying to do here is get used to drawing standing up. And I think that this type of, let's call it angular approach, where I'm really pushing for as few shapes as possible and making the transitions as bold as possible, it definitely lends itself to standing up like this. Whereas I've never been a ditherer, but some people who have these very dithering, let's call them finessing, I don't mean to put them down, but lighter line strokey type of approaches. It's hard to, for me anyway, to do when I'm standing up like this. That seems like a crazy pose, but you know, reality is that on a scary drawing, on a caricature of like a Halloween type of deal, you'll be asked to do a pose like that with a hand like that. And pulling it off, and I don't think I did, but pulling it off will be important then. Like I said, this is one of our first shows. I hope that the audio works, and let's see how it all goes. One of the reasons I'm standing up here is because this is going to be the new arrangement from now on. And by no means do I have it perfected yet. But I'm beginning to think that in order to have the kind of presentation that I want to have, it's better for me not to be sitting down. I come off as a carny chump. And when you're 50 years old and little kids are lording over you, it's not a good look. I command the room when I'm standing up, you know what I mean? And I can be more of myself, I can be more of my personality when I'm standing up. On this hand that I just did, what really ruined it here is this portion right here, right? That's no good. The hand reference really shows that there's a shape there to that palm. And of course, I'm not mapping it out like this. Of course, I'm really trying to get it right on the first go because, you know, one of the things about caricature drawing, one of the wonderful things, and also one of the great challenges, is that it's really alla prima drawing with no time for underdrawing. I've kind of come to that determination. It's what you can accomplish might be less. But I have so much respect for guys like Caleb Hitchcock who just keep plugging away and developing their alla prima style. Even if sort of flies in the face of what the so-called top artists or the most popular artists are doing, I feel there's a bit of disingenuousness going on here in the industry where people are not admitting they're using significant underdrawings. And whether they are put the drawing actually underneath the piece of paper and they're tracing it or what, you know, the way that people's fingers work, I'm blowing this, you know what I mean? There's obviously more to this than meets the eye here. Something to consider. We'll look for more reference on that because I'm definitely not getting it right. I don't need to copy the conjunction here of this guy's, figures. I can separate them if I want. I'm going to just try to do this in a way that makes for the nicest presentation. In a future episode here, I'm going to bring Michael Mattese's force drawing book into play. I feel like whether it's hand drawing or caricature drawing, that is one avenue I have not fully explored, in terms of approaches to everything, to hand drawing, to everything. A lot of his student drawings, so to speak, are very loose. That's kind of part of his shtick, is to be loose. But I'm not interested in being loose. I'm interested in combining that force drawing approach with a finished line style, something that works in a caricature environment, you know what I mean? And let me say this, some of the great artists like Stiglitz don't have the best lines. I really don't know what I'm doing here with this. If you look at this reference, it's a little fugazi. What we're talking about here is pointing this finger out at you like this. You know what I mean? I guess I can't really capture that correctly, but absolutely. Let's take a quick look here, and let me just see if I put this. Yeah, all right. I don't think I'm getting any audio out of that. Anyway, when you do like this, at least in the way my body works, you're going to get extremely foreshortened that finger, but these guys are going to tend to point down. Maybe whoever drew these reference photos had a different approach, or had a different hand shape. I don't know. One of the things that we're going to discover over and over again in this show and with these drawings is that sometimes I'm not that good. But again, the idea here today is to get drawing again. They're going to be bad. Tomorrow's going to be bad. But on the day of the gig, hopefully we won't be bad. And also, we want to draw some of these with an eye towards how we would draw it in a caricature environment. Let's say we were trying to be cute and portray that's good, right? That turned out okay. I don't know if it turned out good on camera, but it turned out good on the drawing. Hold on one second. Yeah, I think that worked out okay. I notice I'm not getting any followers here, so let's take a quick break so I can drink some tea. I'll be back to it in 1 second. Okay, we're back. Very good. Like I said before, the audio transitions are not perfect, but I think we're doing a decent job otherwise. Oh, two things that are going to happen a lot is me hitting the cameras and just screwing up in general. A moment ago I was thinking about how much I wished I could have had the music going, but you know, if you don't want to have headphones in, then you really can't play the music you know, as you're drawing, because it will feed back through the speakers and, you know, be a big mess. But the reality is that if you really want to concentrate on what you're doing, it's better not to have the music in. During the gigs, you will have music blasting in your ears. There's no question about it. But for practicing, and especially for talking to you guys, I'd rather have silence, frankly. You get used to the sound of your own thoughts and the problem solving that you're trying to do. Some of these drawings are just bad. You know, if you look at the shape of your thumb while you're doing that, forget about the reference button. That shape has to be captured somewhere. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Right? Some people have a very extreme, you know what I mean? That is very painful for me to look at, frankly, sometimes. But the reality is, if you want to capture that gesture, that's the shape. The fingers can sort of be abbreviated. You know what I mean? This is where this is at. I'm definitely going to be back at this tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to set some new routines up, you know what I mean? It would be fun to wake up super early in the morning and draw. I don't know how high I would have to get in order to do that. The problem is that I'm wasted when I wake up in the morning. I'm trying to set a new routine, and at night, when I think about it, oh yeah, it sounds great. But when I wake up in the morning, a lot of times I feel like shit. Okay, so I think that instead of, I mean, we're going to be going over these hands tomorrow too, but instead of moving on, let's talk about this one, because this is a pose that I think you end up seeing a lot and using a lot, and it has an interesting component here. And it's not like I'm talking from a standpoint of somebody who's doing a good job. I'm blowing it, and now I'm figuring out why. You have two pieces here that are of interest to me. It's this and this, or let's say this and this. We just talked about this shape. You know what I mean? That shape. We just talked about that. But here, I feel like if you do not represent that three-dimensionality, if you don't represent that, what's going on here, it's not going to be convincing. You have to have that depth. Because look, you know? Hmm? Don't hit the camera. This plane right here, right, is important to distinguish from this plane. I mean, the good artists are the ones who are able to really give you those planes. And I think what makes, you know, I'm beginning to think that one of the things that makes caricature artists so effective, the caricature party artists so effective, is that even though their drawings can be crude, there's a definite blocky three-dimensionality to it that is funny, you know, Muppet-like. And I try to bring that to my own drawings. I had a drawing here that works, I think, because there is a three-dimensionality to it. So you start to, a drawing that is well constructed becomes very easy to light. If it has good three-dimensionality. And also, you start to realize, this could have been done better, that could have been done better. This is the kind of drawing I want to do for this party coming up. If I could do something like this at that party, I think it would go over very big. But anyway, that's what we're shooting for. Let's get back to the hands. I could also stop shaking the camera. That would be great. If I could do that. Stubby. In this example, he does not draw fingernails. I think that's a mistake because they are hard, and it's worth learning how to do them right. Not that I know how to do them right. That's why I'm drawing. That's why I'm doing this practicing, because I don't know how to do them. I'm hoping that by like the 10th show, I start doing good drawings. One thing about it, though, that's for sure, is that I'm going to get more comfortable standing up like this, and this is definitely the right way to command the room. You know what I mean? Truth is, I'm a tall guy, I have a little bit of presence, and it's a little bit hard, a little bit easier to take me seriously standing up, I think. You know. Yeah, I think that on something like this, we got to think about how we're going to draw it in a caricature environment. I think it's important to follow. Yeah, you gotta think about those lines, man. You know what I mean? That was a mistake. That's not it, but that's closer to what we wanted to do. That's probably the best one so far, right? All right. I suppose we can talk about to what degree the knuckles and the underside tendons of the hand and stuff actually show through. That bone is important. I put it a little low, you know. That was a disaster. Because we took the time here, we're actually able to make a little bit of a better understanding. You know? I think there's a couple things that stand out to me here. But this is the one. This is the one that I should bring up first. If you're not capturing this, you're not going to get it right. This is kind of along the same lines. I mean, I'm all over the place. But this shape obviously is going to be the same. Yeah, so I mean that's the thing to look for. Just like we were keying on that other shape yesterday for the thumb, which in this case would be, you know what I mean? Right? I think that makes sense. It's something to look for. Let's keep going. I am really all over the place with these shapes. I'm just trying to capture these segments in a way that is, you know, convincing. And I don't think I'm doing it. Beginning to look better. How important is that knuckle in the back? That's the real question. Probably a little bit. All right, let's look at something else. Let's go back to the desk here and look at something else. We have a couple other things we can practice. Yeah, you want to do some heads? This is real basic, like Loomis type stuff. I'm not saying that I necessarily subscribe to the Loomis drawing method in a lot of different ways. I'm not a caricature artist who can map out somebody's face mathematically and proportionally, have everything on perfect axes. A lot of times my eyes are all over the place. This is really a mathematical approach, and maybe by practicing this, even in the undisciplined way I draw, it'll make me a better artist. So let's try see what we can do. Yeah, that's good. I can't stop eating. What can I tell you? I feel like all this time the music has been off, but and that's terrible, but that's kind of what I told you was going to happen. We're just getting the basics going here, and especially here at the outset, you have to expect there's going to be some problems. Check the stream here, make sure that we're still broadcasting. Yeah. Broadcasting away. Let's draw. I think we have some music playing, right? They got a lot of stuff going on here. Let's start here with their head theory. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't really draw like this, but we're going back to basics this week, so let's do it, right? They want you to start with a circle like this. Right? And bisect that circle and call that a third. And then from this to here, that's another third. And interestingly enough, if you look, there's a third that they have listed as a half. But I don't see it like that. I see that as a whole nother third. I'm sorry. So, according to their system, it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And this third is the jawline here. I'm sure that if we were to bust out How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, it would probably be a very similar approach here. Okay, now you want me to cut this third in half twice. And this one, right on the dividing line, we want to sink the eyes there or something? Usually there's a 3-eye or 1, 2, 3. Like that's the way we divide the face up into eye sizes. This is the half line. Nose kind of has to be above that. I mean, this is what makes every face different, is the deviation from these points, but I mean, what I'm bucking up against now is the reality that there actually is an anatomy here that needs to be thought of. Right? I mean, it's not just about proportions on a sphere. There actually is an anatomy. That's maybe the difference between these weird Renaissance figures and real human beings. You know, there's like yeah. What the hell do I know? I'm very calm and meditative now because it's almost 11 o'clock or whatever. But I'm going to need to be able to perform this in a loud party environment soon and tell jokes and be stunningly charming and handsome. Yeah, you can see tons of problems up here. I mean, I did not capture the sphere. Like, the whole point of the tutorial was to have this sphere, and guess who didn't capture it? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? The eyes should have been here. I'm freehanding like an asshole. Let's take a break for a little while, and I'll come back to it in a few minutes. I'll see you guys in a bit. As expected, I have gone from protein, eating chicken, to now pounding raisins and dried fruit. A stomach ache is right on the horizon for me. There's no question about it. So what they want to say is that's 1/3, right? That's a little bit too much, but keeping it light and loose, though. No. Oh, let's do it a little bit bigger. That makes sense. They keep pointing to this structure here, the glabella. And I suppose it is important. This is an important region, not only for caricature drawing, but in general. Like, this plane of the forehead, they're describing it here as this shape. I suppose to some extent that is it. I struggle with that. You can see I made a mess of it here. I don't think he has a good answer to this, to that region, which is an important region. I don't think that this approach, which is like all about what does it have to say about this? way they want to describe it is like this. Oi, stop moving the camera. Sorry. It's ridiculous, I know. You only knew how long it took me to set this shit up, and then I fucking can't stop fucking with it. I want to say that you bring this in halfway. That's where you locate the eyes. Glabella. Is any of this making any sense? You know, not for the sake of nothing, but it's kind of an interesting observation. I'll be the first person to make my mouths like this. You know what I mean? And yet, it really does look better. It's definitely worth exploring more. You know what I mean? What kind of a shape do you want for the underside of that lip? Let's go on to another graphic. Go back to the desk. Oh, here we go. So here, let's get on frame here. Here, I think we have another hand reference, and they really are talking more about that hand pad the way that we were looking at it before. I probably should have had this one instead of the face, but anyway, let's get back to it. This is a more complete understanding of that hand pad. Can you see my cursor? Okay, right, yeah. There's that shape that we had before. Maybe we can... So, this is what we were talking about before. He's saying that fingers come out like that. Which certainly makes sense, right? I think that two pieces are important. One, that you have the taper second thing, locating the knuckle. Which he does here, 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 here. I suppose that makes sense. There's a guide here to doing it. Here's our shape. 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. That's the first set of knuckles. That's the second set, huh? Suppose that makes sense. Make it shift towards the thumb. Okay. So he's saying here, instead of a shape like this, where it's, you know, exactly the same, shift it. Towards the thumb. That certainly looked good. I have to say, following along with somebody who already knows how to draw is a lot easier than watching me, right? Let's see what the hand pad looks like on the side. I think of it like a sponge or some kind of a natural thing from the sea. It's fun to just trace somebody who really knows how to draw, you know, instead of watching me. I should probably have this window on the other side. Wouldn't that make more sense? Let's see if we can just do that real quick. I think that's much better. You know what I mean? That looks great. Anyway, let's continue. The point is that we're trying to really make this follow along with this understanding of the hand pad and get that three-dimensionality in there.
Was the last item in this week's program. We shall open the new week with Spotlight on Sport and with news and views from the GBR. Thank you for listening and good night.
getting this shape right as the hand goes into different positions. That's a trick, huh? And then how do the fingers cut into it, you know? I should be doing this standing up, shouldn't I? What can I tell you? I'm tired. Sorry, I'm trying to get the better view here. There we go. This is a nice study of the kind of fine points of the eye anatomy and the eye socket. But just for the sake of tonight and what we were working on before, let's talk more about this area here, because this is the part that always tends to give me trouble, and maybe why they're highlighting it here. You know, you can draw convincing eyes in a cartoony manner, but this is really the hardcore anatomy of the face. And capturing this gives you that three-dimensionality that you need to sell your style, whatever your style is for the eyes and other details. You need to sell it. And this is what enables you to sell it. You know, you might say, why not study a fucking skull? That's an idea. I'm actually excited about tomorrow. We'll start doing some faces and we can at least get back to making funny drawings, you know what I mean? Isn't that what it's all about? Making funny drawings? yes, you do need a good understanding in order to do it. But ultimately, I want to entertain. And you have to be able to make funny drawings, sexy drawings, cool drawings. You need to have a good knowledge of the anatomy. All right, listen, I think that's a good place to stop for tonight, but thanks for tuning in. This has been That Drawing Show. We're going to be doing real fundamentals this week. We're going to be doing head and face studies. We're going to be doing hands and fingers. So it's going to be a fun week of shows, and hopefully we're going to get my chops up. Thanks for tuning in, and happy drawing.